That is unfortunate. We do still have Rodney, but everything else has stepped up.
I'm kind of like that wart that just won't go away.
Can't get rid of him. All right, revs are up and the gate is down. We're racing here live on RacerTV.com in the 50-plus class.
Barry Karsten grabbing that early lead, and here's in this Masters 50-plus class, the 31 machine out of Bay Hill, New Jersey, and probably one of the longest-standing motocross racers, and he's under pressure already as the cream rising to the top right off the bat. It's the number 70 of John Gruey, who is the man to beat in this class, and I know Karsten coming into this one, this is who he had a target for.
Oh, what a perfect way to start our Racer TV show, to see Karsten and Gruey already battling it out wheel to wheel on the very first lap of their very first moto. It is going to be a duel here. Gruey is so fast at Loretta's, but certainly Karsten is a cagey and a crafty one, and he is not going to make it easy. Look at that, wheeling over the bumps. Barry Karsten showing the style right there, manualing through some of those rollers. But Gruey, not to be deterred, he's on the inside. It's about the fourth time in this moto already they've been side by side. Let's see if Gruey can grease that outside. He does, and he's able to take the lead from Karsten. So John Gruey, who I think is getting faster each year he comes to the ranch, even though he's 50-plus years of age. Oh, Karsten coming right back. He said, you want to run the inside on me? I'll run the outside on you.
Oh,
forget about it. Karsten off the track, just wanted to use all the sand that we've trucked in there. We appreciate that. Now, as they head back into view here over this jump side by side, half a dozen times we've seen them wheel to wheel, Gruey and Karsten. Gruey able to lock down the lead as they come back into view. Karsten not letting him off the hook. Great battle. Karsten again with a big blitz around the outside. But as I said, lines funnel together in this left-hand corner. Who's going to be in the premier spot? It's Gruey.
Well, looking back to that third-place position, they've already amassed a monumental lead over the rest of the field as Gruey checks in first. Karsten in the number 2 spot, and now Karsten's going to try to strike back on Gruey. But already, like you said, Gruey, man on a mission. He has been training for this. This is what he set out to do. If you remember last year, I think he turned 50 just before this Amateur National Motocross Championship finale to win the Masters 50-plus class last year. And he's back here to try and to defend it aboard the number 70. And Karsten, I tell you, getting out here and getting off to this start, he's already starting to show, I think, that he came with a whole new plan this year and wants to be more of a threat for national titles.
Waylon Galen Dixon is third. Ralph Bentley. Man, that's a big vehicle to be taken in on this motocross track. A Bentley, he is in fourth. Frank Koenig is fifth. Craig Bigelow sixth. Earl May, Michael Keating, Edgar Fodish, and Alan Alford round out the top 10. Mark A. Guy is 11th. Jack Lambert, Gary Lucier, Bart Newman, and Steve Mare. That's your top 15. Gruey trying to get away from Karsten just a little bit. But you're right, there's some definite pep in the step, or prep in the step, as my man Grant Langston likes to say. I guess that means he's wearing more formal attire with prep in the step. Karsten is not giving up. He's definitely pushing hard, but Gruey just knows how this track develops so well. He's been racing here, believe it or not, since 1982. Gruey was here at the very first Loretta Lynn's. Karsten, actually relatively new to this event.
Well, actually, I talked to Barry, and he told me that he came down to like one of the very first Loretta Lynn's. He couldn't remember if it was 82 or 83, but he remembers coming down, and he was 16 years old. He told me on Friday, I believe it was. He said, I was 16 years old. I came down, and we had a prepped racetrack. It was a national caliber track, and he said, the racetrack was better than anything he'd ever raced in his life, even under the worst conditions because they had rain and different kind of crazy things like that. But he said, this is how I want to race every weekend. That next weekend, he went pro, and he was one of the longest-standing pros on the AMA Motocross Championship schedule for a long, long time.
Yeah, the first, 30 years of this event, he was pro like that entire time. So Karsten is, I think, about 4 or 5 years now that he's been coming down and racing with us at the ranch. Gruey has only missed a few in the entire history of the event, but it's worked out about the same. The way Gruey was aggressive with him in the first lap, he thought he would have been able to check out, but Karsten is hanging right with him. Nice little line through the sand in the mechanics area. Galen Dixon is still third. Michael Keating and Ralph Bentley round out the top 5. Look at the gap.
Yeah, I was just noticing that gap. 18 seconds between second and third. Another 18.4 seconds as well between third and fourth. But look at the battle for fifth right now, or fourth, with fifth place rider Ralph Bentley. And Keating, looks like Keating just got around Bentley. Now Koenig has got his sights set on the number 76 from 6th place.
Karsten finding the line and the rhythm through the 10 Commandments. Let's see if he can grease this outside. It'll turn to the inside in Storyland, not enough. But Gruy can feel the pressure. Man, this is amazing to see two riders 50+ pushing this hard. And as the moto goes on, I think they're just getting quicker.
Yeah, Barry was also telling me, talking about the return to the ranch. It was a few years after he was a professional rider and retired from racing professionally that he made his way down here to Loretta's. He said the reason that he didn't come any earlier is because his son had yet to be able to qualify. And in the first year that his son was able to qualify, they came down together, and they've been coming ever since.
Yeah, I think he's up into the A classes now. His son saw him in B for a while. Still a good battle. Gruy on the number 70. Michigan Mafia man got the edge on Karsten, at least for the moment. But Karsten had something special in those 10 commandments. See if he can use that next time they get through that section.
See Barry back in the number 12 spot right now. The number 40 of Rodney Carrier turning a 222 in amongst some 225s and 230s right now. So Carrier trying to break into a top 10 ride. He's got the 13 of Bart Newman in 13th place behind him now as they're trying to latch on. Actually, Newman only 0.3 of a second behind Carrier. So these two might be able to take each other into a top 10 overall position right now as Gruy wraps up lap number 3 with Barry Karsten hot on his rear wheel. Only 1.3 seconds separating the two lap times right now for Gruy, a 2:04.9 and a 2:05.1. These guys are running nearly identical lap times.
Gruy had the back end step out as they were headed behind the billboards and past the mechanics area. So Karsten closing in again in the 10 commandments after these twisties. That's where Karsten was able to pull up wheel to wheel the last time around. We'll see if the 31 can do it. I think Gruy got all that time back. He's pulled back away. Now, Gruy likes everyone to know that he's single and ready to mingle. He mentions it on the podium the last couple of years. So, ladies, if you like what you're seeing out on the track, go dial us up when it's podium time at the end of this moto. The question is, what's the order going to be? Karsten tripling through the 10 commandments, getting back to the inside. Almost had it, but then made a little mistake.
That area of the racetrack seems to be a favorite spot for Karsten. He really makes a lot of gains on John Gruy, but as soon as they get out of that section and head towards Storyland, it all of a sudden becomes Gruy's favor.
Love the way the track is broken down like that. Multiple sections with multiple lines. And even these riders who have as much experience as anyone, they're still trying to figure out exactly where they want to go. Karsten jumping that anthill on the inside. Still not able, though, to track down Gruy.
Rough and tough Rocky Mountain sweeper turn now as we head back into the heart of this Loretta Lynn's race course now over the Rocky Mountain itself. And that right-hander here is where things start to get exciting. We see them right here in front of our face, in front of the announcer's tower, and we can see visually that Gruy still maintaining a comfortable spot on this racetrack. But I tell you, in the last couple of years, well, last year in particular, Karsten didn't seem nearly as aggressive in these motos as what he seems to be today. So obviously that must have lit a fire under his tail, sparked him up a little bit to come back out here and put a little more effort into winning these titles.
Yeah, I agree. This is definitely the best I think we've seen Bear Dog ride here at the ranch. But Gruy, man, I'm telling you what, he's both an immovable object and an irresistible force. He's tough to beat here at Loretta's. Karsten giving everything he has. Keating has moved up to 3rd now, around Waylon Galen Dixon. So Dixon back to 4th. And Frank Koenig in the top 5. Ralph Bentley has been pushed back to 6th. Earl May, who I believe has actually raced at Loretta's even more times than John Gruy, is in 7th. Alan Alford 8th. Craig Bigelow and Gary Lucier, that is your top 10.
Earl May for a long time was a big deal as far as these 40 and 50 plus classes were concerned, and to see him now back here and still competing, the 82 machine in 7th place.
What is Barry doing in these 10 commandments? Every single time,
wow,
he's able to pull up on Gruy, and this time execute the pass. Took 3 shots at it. 3rd time through that 10 commandments section, he's able to make it happen. You're right, he is fired up.
Now we got to find out whether or not this section is better to John Gruy or not, or whether defensive riding by Karsten will pay dividends as they're side by side far in of Storyland now, heading toward the Suzuki Waterworks, and it looks like that Suzuki of Karsten still maintaining that lead as we head toward the Rocky Mountain Sweeper.
I'm telling you what, Karsten not taking no for an answer. Dave Smithy's fought back, man.
They are. It's a fight throughout this entire race with these guys, and it's hard to imagine because this is the 50-plus class. You think of this sport and you think, hey, these are 18, 19, 16-year-old kids out there racing. No, these guys have been around this sport their entire lives. And they're 50-plus years old. Not only that, some of these guys, not only are they 50, but they are a little bit older than 50.
Yeah, 50 plus, exactly.
I think Carson's somewhere in the neighborhood of 53 years old, he was telling me. Woo! And that, by no stretch of the imagination, as I approach the age of 50, seems not old at all to me, but still rather impressed.
Very young man. Very young man. I don't want to insult anybody. Look at Gruey getting it back, and Karsten a mistake. Gruey got to the inside. Karsten made a mistake. Gruey takes the lead back. White flag coming out here. Side by side over the tunnel. What a battle. Karsten on the inside again. Gruey able to hold him off.
They're mixing it up with some of the lappers as these guys are carrying such a pace around the track. They are catching the other 42 riders that are on the track as there's a big lap.
Karsten able to retake it as they go to the mechanics area. Gruey side by side again. Gruey, he got blocked by that lap rider on that anthill, and that's going to allow Karsten to get him. Unbelievable, this battle between the two of them. Karsten, for the moment, has it.
Boy, I love seeing this aggression by Barry Karsten. As we said, not nearly as aggressive the last couple of years down here at the ranch. Now, years prior to that, we'd seen a little more aggression out of him, but he come here, it looks like this year, like he wants to win a national championship title. In amongst all this lap traffic, this could pay some big dividends for him as he's opened up more of a lead over the 70 of Gruey here in Moto 1.
Well, the 10 Commandments have been Barry's section. Barry always known as a jumper. Very much a James Stewart type. You know, who's going to bust out the big quad, the big quints. That was always Barry Karsten's specialty, known as a jumper. Maybe in my mind. But in this back section of the track, Gruey has been quicker, so he has closed back up. This is going to be a shootout right down to the line.
Here we go. I believe it is still the 2-lap board out. Yeah, we'll be getting the white flag, if I'm not mistaken, next time around. So the intensity of this is going to only multiply as this race wears on through the Rocky Mountain Sweeper, through more lap traffic. I don't know whether that is a benefit to Barry Karsten right now or if it is a hindrance for him, because it seems like he's getting through the traffic okay, but so is John Gruey. But Gruey not making the gains I'm sure that he hopes to make during this juncture of the race, because he wants to be as close to that rear wheel and maybe be able to position himself to make that pass. You see him going on the outside of that big sweeper. That is about the smoothest line around this racetrack right now.
Switching up lines in the sweeper right before the finish line shoot. Gruey takes the outside, but they crisscross again coming through. They're almost neck and neck coming out right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, Barry Karsten took him out wide, and cutting back to the inside was the 70 of Gruey. And if that scenario presents itself on the final lap, we may see a final turn pass and push by the 70 of Gruey as he tries to make that push and pass around the billboard.
He's out there now. The wheel is out front.
And he makes it happen. Now Gruey has, for the moment, regained the #1 position, but we're heading toward that 10 Commandment section that seems to belong to Barry Karsten right now as we roll toward the committed gasket here. The number 70 of John Gruey, the 31 of Barry Karsten.
Gruey held back, watched Karsten's lines, but when they went in front of the Yamaha mechanics area, you saw his wheel literally clip the front wheel of Gruey as they went through.
Karsten a little held up by some lap traffic. That's going to be a big saving grace for the 70 of Gruey, because this is where Karsten was able to make up a lot of the time that we saw throughout the early part of this moto, and was able to make passes and challenges on the number 70 of Gruey. As we are into this, a favor for Gruey as he rounds the far section of Storyland, now heading towards Suzuki Waterworks as he is on his way home to winning Moto #1 here at Loretta Lynn's in this Masters 50-plus class.
So now you have to think about this. Was this just Gruey saving up some energy to snipe him on the last lap? Or did the lappers really, truly come into play and separate this race out and give the advantage?
I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest with you. I think that you hit the nail on both heads, actually, by saying I think the lappers had a lot to do with that right there. So think that Barry is certainly the hunger and the desire to make it happen this year, and we'll see whether or not it is going to unfold for him as he's closing up. No, he's not. He's closer and closer and closer. And will he be within striking distance in this final turn? Here we go.
Side by side.
To the outside, he rails it. Gruey to the inside, and bike and a half length separates these two riders at the checker flag. The difference in time, 0.383. We are splitting hairs here at Loretta Lynn's for Moto wins.
These guys aren't done. I think they're racing all the way to the podium right now. They're not done.
Michael Keating we are expecting in, but some 42 seconds after second place, rolling through the finish line. What an amazing battle by those two Master 50-plus competitors out there. And this, my friends, only setting the stage for what the final two motos are going to be like. The intensity of that battle, the gruelingness of it, you know both riders are going to come back very hungry, and both are going to want to make a statement in Moto number 2.
We might have got a little caught up talking about John Grury and Barry Carson throughout this race because they presented us with an incredible race out there. A lot of things unfolded behind those guys out there on the track. It might have been 40 seconds back plus, but Earl May, who we saw very deep in the back, has worked his way all the way into the 5th spot with entering into the last lap. 3rd through 5th, we have Michael Keating, Galen Dixon in 4th, Earl May in 5th, and we're still waiting on 4th and 5th to come across to see if that's where they finish.
It is Galen Dixon in 4th. Earl May does hang on to the number 5 spot as he closes the gap on Dixon. And we get set to close in on that podium and ready to congratulate our Moto Medal winners and Whole Shot Award winners. Wow, what a battle we saw out here. Michael Keating will get the number 3 spot. Again, Gruy first, Karsten in second, and Jason Wygant stands by with all 3.
Well, that's it. We've basically done half a dozen motos so far this year, and we've already seen the best moto we're going to see all week. I don't know how you could possibly top that. It was a photo finish. It came across the line side by side, and the win goes to John Gruy. That's about as hard as you can work for a moto win.
Yeah, that was way harder than I wanted to work. But, you know, with Barry, you just don't know. It's, you know, you can't ever count him out, and he was riding great, and so it made for a great race, and just thank God I came out on top.
What's going through your mind when you're battling like that? He actually got back around you and then down to the finish side by side. Are you planning things out, or are you just going wide open and hitting stuff?
Yeah, wide open hitting stuff. You know, when he's in front of me, I got to go somewhere else. So that's always, you know, you don't really know what's going to happen. It's a line you haven't taken, but it's part of it. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But, you know, then when I'm in front of him, I'll make a little bobble. It's pretty slippery through the 10 Commandments. You know, you're trying to get a rhythm, and if you lose that rhythm, you're done. And he passed me twice there because he was able to go the outside and do his jumps clean. But that's the way it is, and it was fun.
Absolutely. Who do you want to thank, John?
Team Babbitt's, everybody at FMF, Decal Works, Fox Racing, Tamer Whole Shot Devices, come out second. That was great. Dunlop Tires, man, Twin Air, Bell Helmets, Decal Works, man, Factory Connection Suspension, bike was good. And, man, everybody here that helps me, I really appreciate it. The Woods family at GPF, they feed me all week. I mean, how much is that worth? So, yeah, I love it.
All right, they love it too. Let's hear it for your moto winner, John Gruy.
You know, Team Green Kawasaki. You know, I forget to say that because I'm on one and the whole thing's green and whatever, but they're a huge part of it, of course, for all these amateurs, and I appreciate everything they do.
All right, we appreciate you. John Gruy, everybody.